That's always glamorous. Ugh. Start the video off with a coughing fit. Well, this is, I've been doing this for 6 or 8 months now, about 6 months, and it's still, every time I leave here to go pick up my kiddo, it's surreal. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier online. We went to high school together, and then I guess we reconnected around 2012. Well, it was 2012 when we reconnected, because I was in Laredo, Texas, building a big ass shopping center in a 400,000 square foot Walmart, and I was down there for about 14 months. And during that time, my daughter came down and spent the summer with me, because I was staying in a really nice place. It had like a tropical garden and waterfall, and I had a big, like almost like a condo. It had a big private patio and a big tropical garden and a fountain. I had a plantain tree right off my patio, and towards the end of summer, the plantains there was like a huge bunch of bananas. The limb just collapsed and they fell down, and I guess that's how when they're ripe, that's just what they do. They don't really harvest them. They literally, the limbs fall off and the bunches fall off, and then they separate the bunches. But anyway, sidetrack. She came down and spent that summer with me because she was about to start school as a kindergartner. She went to her first dentist appointment. She went and got her first haircut. And I came home and I walked her to school on her first day. And pretty much I walked her to school the first day almost every day until just here recently, last, I guess, 1 year. I guess Denise took her 1 year on her first day when I was working out of town. And then I've not walked her to class, but I've taken her to school her first day since she was in kindergarten, and then all the way up through 6th or 7th grade. And then in the 8th grade, I think, was the year that I did not walk her to school. And then when she was a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, I've taken her to school on her first day. It just seemed like yesterday that we were in Laredo and she was getting ready to start school. And in just 3 or 4 months from now, she's going to be graduating. She's accepted. I mean, this kid, I was worried about her graduating a year before last. And, I mean, I didn't know if she was going to even graduate high school. And now the kid's accepted to she's been accepted by 8 different colleges. I mean, she's been turned down by a few universities. But I'm just stunned and amazed at how great she has really turned it around here in just this last 2 years, and especially this year. She's got a job. Her grades are up. I've gotten no emails from any of her teachers this year. I think I got one the other day that said, oh, she had missed something and she was going to have to go to this thing they call ZAP,
New text message from SWPPP Michelle Lee W. Trinity Green.
Okay, damn, that's quite a title you got there, Michelle. Michelle, she follows my YouTube, so I know she'll see this shortly. I'm stunned and amazed at how she has just turned it around 100%. When she was in 1st through 6th grade, I mean, it was constantly just AB honor roll. I was constantly going to a breakfast with her because she had made the AB honor roll. And wow, something hairy is going on up ahead here. Road construction. Yeah, thought it might be. For a minute there, I thought it was a wreck, but it's not like I don't drive through here every night and see this stuff. But my kiddo has just turned it around 100%. She's just done phenomenal. Her grades this year just have been outstanding. Her performance, her work ethic, she's getting up. I mean, like, I used to have to get up and have a hard time getting her up to go to school. And now, the other morning, I overslept a little bit. I woke up and just kind of opened one eye, looked at the clock, and I thought it was 6:40 or something, or 5:40. I thought it was early, and then she comes and knocks on the door, and it's like 7:17. It was time for us to leave and go to school. I was like, wow, I get up and take her to school, but I've gotten all these job offers to go travel, and I want to keep bumping my head when to lower the seat. On all my trucks and everything, I raise the seat all the way up so I can look down and stuff. And this Challenger, I actually lower the seat down so I can fit in it. But I love this car. It drives nice. I haven't owned a car. I've owned a lot of cars, sports cars, race cars, shit like that. But I've pretty much been driving a pickup truck since 1989. So this is the first car I've had in a long, long time. And I mean to tell you, in the last 6 months, I've driven my pickup truck twice. I haven't driven the Beast at all. I brought the Beast home 6 months ago and just parked it. And it's just sitting. I go out there and start it once a week, but I haven't driven it. I need to go out and make some noise with it. The other Power Wagon, the blue Power Wagon, I haven't. What is this idiot doing? God, people are crazy out here tonight. My other Power Wagon, I've driven the blue truck twice. And the only reason I did that is because I had Wyatt and Tia, and we were going out to eat. And this thing has no back seat to speak of. And Tia squeezed in back there a couple of times, but it's really not anything you can sit on. In the passenger seat, there's leg room galore. If you're 6'5", you'll fit right into a Dodge Challenger. But if you're not 6'5", you got plenty of room to move the seat forward and put some leg room in the back. So the next thing, I was looking at getting a Durango, but I'm not really enthusiastic about a small SUV. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get me a 392 Charger. And I'm kind of split because I want to do something really special with it. This one's like bright green, black racing stripes. I like it just as it is. But for the Charger, I'm thinking about getting a white one and doing it up in a Sox and Martin paint job. Jerk. Thinks he's in a school zone or something. I want to get me a 392 Charger. If I get a white one, which I seen a white one on Copart, or no, I didn't. I seen the orange one on Copart. There was an orange one, and I thought I would do something really unique with it. I was going to make a General Lee out of it, because originally General Lee was a Charger, 69 Charger, 68 Charger, and this one's a 2019 392 Shaker hood, very ultra rare Shaker Charger. I also have a 6.4 Hemi Shaker engine. Is that my kiddo? Or is that somebody else's kiddo? That is not my kiddo. I'm going to go around here and find another parking spot. Yeah, a Charger with a Shaker. I didn't even think they had them. But there are no 4-speed Chargers. So if I get a white one, I'm going to paint it up in the red, white, and blue Sox and Martin with a big red panel on the side. And then I'm not going to do the blue roof. I'm just going to do the blue stripe down the top. But that would be cool with the Shaker hood on it. In case you don't know what a Shaker is, the old 1970s Dodge is the one that has a Shaker, but like the Trans Ams, where they have the hood scoop sticking up, the 455, the 6.6, that's a Shaker type with the intake sticking up through the hood. And I do believe there's a parking space in the front row. So anyway, I've been looking for the right one. I'm kind of real picky, and I'm looking for something specific. I want something super cool, super good, super cheap. Heavy on the super cheap part. So anyway, I love this car. It's really cool. But anyway, back to my kiddo, whom I hear picking her up from work, and it is like surreal that my kid has a job. She's making good grades. She's accepted to a bunch of colleges, which makes me super proud. But I'm also super duper stressed out because now I'm looking at about $40,000 a year to pay for it, and that's that's like a third, like 30% of my income, 33%. I'm not a rich guy. Don't make a lot of money, but I will have to find a way. Maybe mortgaging one of my homes or both of them. So anyway, I feel like I did something right. I don't know how, but the kiddo turned out fantastic. I had some great help along the way. Gabby, Kathy, Denise, they were all super helpful in helping me get her to and from. Gabby was super duper helpful at teaching her, and there she is in there working. She looks so grown up. She's a grown up. Unbelievable. But yeah, super duper kid. I am so happy. I'm so proud of her. But she keeps scaring me because she keeps getting accepted to these schools like in Massachusetts and Pennsylvania and one in Wisconsin. And I'm like, you know, UT Arlington is just right down the street. She's applied and been denied at 2 A&Ms, but she still has applied at 2 other Texas A&Ms, Corpus and Kingsville. So fingers crossed for her, but I would really like her to check out like maybe Stephen Austin, or UT Arlington, or even SMU. I mean, I don't really want her to go to Dallas, but I really want to keep my kiddo home. But I told her, you know, don't go by what Dad says. You go with what you want to do. You go where you want to go. You're an adult now, and while I want you close to home, it's, you know, sooner or later you're going to have to fly from the nest. If it's this year, next year, 2 years, 3 years, it doesn't matter to me. If you're going to school and you're happy, I want you to pick the school you want to go to. And if that means you're moving away, then that means you're moving away. I can't control that. And that was hard for me to say. It was hard for me to tell her, but I want her to know that this is her choice and this is her decision. And I'm not going to try to. I'm going to tell her I want her to be here, and she knows I want her to be here, but I'm not going to control or influence that. I'm just going to beg and plead that, hey, try to pick somewhere at least in the state of Texas, somewhere within driving distance, so I don't have to, either you or I don't have to jump on an airplane to see one another. The bad thing is her boyfriend lives in Hawaii now. His dad transferred there, and he's going to graduate this year or next year. I'm not sure which, but I don't know if he's coming back to Texas, but now his dad's talking about it. They literally just transferred there like 6 months ago. 6 or 7 months they've been in Hawaii for her dad's job, and now they're talking about going to Brooklyn, New York. So I don't know, something's messed up about that. He went from Texas to Hawaii and from Hawaii to New York. It's like they keep downgrading. I'd rather be in Texas than Hawaii. Of course, I'm not a surfer either, but they grow up and they fly the coop quick. So anyway, I tell my kid I love her every day. I tell her I'm proud of her every day. And I encourage her. I advise her. It seems like we've never gone through that, angry. She's never had that angry teen phase, at least not where she was angry with me, or we've always been best buds, and she talks to me and we communicate, and we have a pretty open relationship. She got really quiet for like, I don't know, 3 years there, when from the time she was 12 to about 15. But in the last 2 years, she just all of a sudden, pop, come out of her shell, and she's an adult. She's always been very mature, but it seemed like during the pandemic and stuff, when they were doing the online classes, I was seeing her quite often, and she was coming to work with me and doing her school from my office and stuff, because I was working here in Fort Worth, and pretty quiet. Our communications, were limited. We're still on good terms, buddy, but it just seems like in 2022, 2021, something just snapped one day, and bam, she was like laughing and talking and joking, and just, occasionally I walk by her room and hear her talking to her friends that way, but then all of a sudden she's like, bam, she's talking to me that way, oh, my friend this, my friend that, and just really enjoying having enjoyable conversations, casual conversations between us, that for a few years there, it seemed like it was just strictly business between us. Unless she wanted something, then the personality comes out. But if she doesn't need anything or want anything, she's all business. Very quiet, very reserved. But she's a well-behaved kid. Never, ever been any kind of problem for me. And I always knew she was really smart. She's always been super smart. At the age of 4 and 5, before she even started school, she could read better than you, me, and 6 other adult people I knew. I was like, and I credit Gabby with that, because Gabby read to her a lot, but she had a computer at age 4, and she was reading books, whole books, by age 5. And she was like a sponge for years. She would just read and read and read and read and read. She could knock a book out in a few hours. It'd take me, as an adult, it would take me a week to read a book, because I could just read a few chapters a day, and then I'm A, bored, or B, run out of time, didn't have time to sit. I've never had time to sit down and spend the entire day reading a book since I was like maybe in the 7th grade. In high school, I always had, ROTC, Ranger team, football, soccer. My sophomore year I had basketball, but I always had something going on after school, away from school, at school, Boy Scouts, ROTC, Ranger team, and I always had extracurricular stuff to do, sports to do. So I never had time to sit down and just read a book. I struggled to even get homework done. And my kid is just spectacular this last 2 years. Last year, she just seemed like she was always behind. I was constantly getting some. She hadn't turned in her work. And then I'd ask her about it. Boom, she had the work. I'm like, why don't you just turn it in? Don't be lazy. And this year, I haven't had to tell her anything. I've literally gotten one notice. And she goes, oh, I just hadn't turned it in yet. I'm like, well, turn it in. But I could not be more proud of her. She just makes me happy. She's been the reason I live and breathe for the last 18 years. And she's just a spectacular kid. Going to college. Have a proud dad moment. Anyway, she's fixing to come out and jump in the car. I'm sure she's just waiting on her food. She's got some kind of deal worked out. She's a sandwichaholic, so she's got a friend. He works at McAllister's, and she likes sandwiches, and she works at a chicken place, and he likes chicken. It's not a chicken fast food. It's a restaurant. But she, so she's getting him some kind of honey chipotle wings, and they're going to swap lunch tomorrow. I was like, oh, the irony. I can't believe my kiddo likes to eat sandwiches. I hate sandwiches. I ate sandwiches as a kid growing up. I don't want or need any more sandwiches. All right, y'all be good to one another. Pay it forward, for God's sakes. Raise your kids right. I think I got lucky and did well. Good luck to y'all.